A current narrative in academic historical research states that during the Neolithic period 7,000 years ago, European hunters were displaced by farmers from the Linear Pottery culture who were advancing northward.
The most important evidence for this is the increase in the genetic share of so-called early European farmers within the population of Central Northern Europe.
In fact, however, this genetic finding arose in a completely different way. It arose through the overlaying of the linear pottery farmers by warlike hunters advancing from the north. For thousands of years, small groups of young warriors from the Nordic cultures of Scandinavia had been advancing into central Germany and attacking the mostly peaceful farming cultures of Central and Southern Europe. About 6,500 years ago, however, the hunters decided to no longer kill and rob their enemies, but to subjugate them. They made themselves the new masters of the farmers and put them to work for them. At the same time, they took women from the farmers, whose children in turn mostly married within the farming community and had children. This reduced the proportion of hunter genetic material, even though they constituted the elite.
The superimposition of the linear pottery culture by the Nordic hunters led to the emergence of the first type of state with a hierarchical structure in Northern Europe. On the one hand, there was a warlike nobility that ruled over the subjugated people but also protected them from other enemies.
On the other hand, there was a population that mostly worked in the fields and had to hand over part of their harvest to the nobility. The nobles were not workers, but warriors who protected the farmers and, thanks to their newly gained free time, were also able to devote themselves to civilizational and cultural projects. Although the workers had to hand over part of their harvest and were subject to the authority of their lords, they no longer had to fear becoming victims of attacks by foreign warriors. They also benefited from new achievements and technologies invented by their lords.
In Northern Europe, this led to the establishment of the funnel beaker culture, which is known for the construction of megalithic tombs. For the first time, a larger workforce was available for the construction of larger buildings. This made it possible to erect the sometimes enormous megalithic structures in which only members of the nobility who belonged to the male haplogroup I2 were buried. At the same time, the funnel beaker culture was a center of technical innovation. This is where the four-wheeled cart and the ox-drawn plow were invented. The religious concept of a male sky god and a female earth mother, whose union produced the son of God or god of light, also originated here.